What's up, guys? Hope everybody had a great weekend. Big moves in the pound today, huh? So I actually really wanted to just hit on Bitcoin, but for some of you that are forex traders and you're not in the live room, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be in the live room because we hit on all this stuff early. But um, Boris headline today. I mean, the pound's going to go lower on that Brexit stuff, but you're one headline or a deal away from it completely reversing. And this trades to me also, just like everybody had concerns over Brexit the first time and Trump, and then what we ended up having was the pound actually rallied, and equity markets were selling off into his election, and then rallied there also. So them actually stepping out and away from the EU. I know the market wants to price that as disruptive a little bit right now, but I think longer term, you're actually going to want to be a seller of the euro and long the pound. But you got to manage your risk around that in the meantime. So this was a massive move. This is probably definitely the biggest move we see in the forex market all summer. So I started putting out some longer term, heavier pieces today. But when I do that, you got to manage your risk, which means I got to trade this back and forth now quite a bit. But sterling, euro versus the pound will have these big spikes. But you can see this is a major spot. We've had some serious moves. Actually, this wasn't. We didn't actually trade up here. I think this is a lot of bad prints. But we've had these spikes each time into 91, 92, followed by pretty big reversals. So that's how I'm going to play it again. Can cable break? Yeah. But it's already come pretty far pretty fast. So kind of looking for a bounce there. But that said, I am still hedging this and taking advantage of shorts on pound versus the dollar and pound versus the yen. So I came in, I didn't have as much dragon, which is pound versus the yen short on as I wanted. And so that was kind of a little bit disappointing today. Could have made a lot more being short there. But nonetheless, that's the right idea, is to stay on the short side of pound versus the yen and pound versus the dollar. So tonight, tomorrow, into tomorrow, look to sell a rally there against any of your shorts over here on euro versus the pound, and that's how you can kind of hedge yourself. So that's how I'm doing that. Then we want to get to BTC. I'll do a cycle update as we close out the month. There's a pretty big cycle turn for August, so I'll wait for month end and then we'll do some cycle work on the cash market. But when I look at futures, I mean, constantly I'm getting alerts on my phone. BTC's up 5% off, it's down 5% off, it's up 5%, it's down. It's like, I don't know, it's like the algorithms or the market or just by the nature of these exchanges putting out these alerts every 5%. But we're getting some pretty decent intermediate term ebb and flow all around kind of that same measured moves. But let's just do a quick top down. There'll be nothing really on the yearly level. Well, I shouldn't say that. We're getting a cycle to form on the yearly chart. Oh, sorry, that's the monthly. Yeah, the yearly's not going to show anything. Can't even get a quarterly chart. Yeah. Sorry about that. Monthly cycles actually, guys, kind of had a pretty good run here off the lows. And futures, that's playing into the same August turn I was talking about on the longer wave, longer sine wave. That's something we're going to have to think about. Now here on the weekly, we've actually been sitting through a 3-4 week pullback already, and so that stochastic played out starting in June, and we're not quite to the bottom yet. So that kind of makes sense that we could see this continue into August before the weekly wants to turn. Just eyeballing that comes out pretty well. But that said, everything's still bullish formation, bullish trend, bullish posture. See that more on the daily. I like that we're still above the bands. That's kind of where my risk is. There's a gap in futures, which doesn't matter a whole lot, but it is significant because it's self-fulfilling. People do look at it, and then it's right in line with our bands, so that's what I care about more. Now, if this turns up on the daily, you could have another swing, 2 to 5 day swing back into the highs from 2 weeks ago when the weekly cycle turned down. So that's kind of sitting right in front of 11,000, and I'll show you here on the 4-hour. This is a pretty consistent summertime pullback, and it's happening in rates, it's happening in gold. We've had these momentous moves, and then we've just kind of gone sideways. And what we kind of want to keep an eye on is when this pattern of lower highs changes. And let me just draw it real quick. So here's lower highs, right, that I care about. This one, you're coming off, first you have this new high. That's a higher high, followed by a little bit of a consolidation. And then this was an equidistant failure to make a higher high. I call that a phase 2. My traders know that's phase 2 high. And then what you had here was higher lows. But this bounce from here failed at the bands. And by the time you pulled away from it and broke this to a new low relative to here, I mean, that's a pretty clear pivot. And so we've been making lower highs. So it's just a consolidation that we've got to sit through. You can kind of think of it like this also. Right, and then this is your floor. Look how we held pi, bottoming tail right at pi. You can plug into the average and it still matters. So you're flagging. This is all consolidation. Well, what you want to look for is get above here, and then we can see some more upside momentum. Thought we were going to get it with this candle, and you notice we didn't get any follow through. That was pretty much the high. Usually after that large of a candle, you'll see follow through 2 or 3 candles after, and just wasn't ready yet. So that's kind of what I'm watching. I'm not really worried about the downside until we break the bands, which I was just showing on the daily. And then I'm not really in a hurry. I think we got to get through the end of this month before we got a shot at rallying, and I want to see how the cycles are lining up into August. So I haven't really been that active, but if we start to see this kind of trend change here, then I'll get more involved on the near term. But still bullish, still core long term cash, and we'll be getting long more futures if we start to rally, like I said, and the momentum comes back. And then the same thing with the alts. Kind of been trading that around. I'll come back with another video and we can look at the spreads and the relative value between the two. If you guys are new to us and what we do, JenkinsRM.com. We've got a new members area, kind of highlighting that for traders this morning in our group. But I won't hit on all this stuff today, guys. But just if you want to get involved with us, this is the best way. Trial membership. Come in here for free to our live room. See what we're all about in the other markets. See what we're trading in real time, and then feel free to connect with me and ask any questions in there. All right, you guys have a great night.